前回ラストでウィリアム・ビショップの血液サンプルを入手したので、それを病院に持ってって解析するところから再開になります。これ通らせてもらえない感じかな。オフィスで会おう。じゃあここ登っていけないから迂回してって感じか。なんか争ってるな。おお、刺されてる。あ、血の匂いがするってことか。おお、刺されてるな。
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
出血したままにしておこうが置いてって殺してやるが多分血を吸うんだろうな。あ、押して詳細を見るってやる。これ詳細を見るっていうのはこの出血してる人か。
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
Alright, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
ブラッドクオリティはその市民からどれだけの XP 経験値ですね。経験値が得られているかを示します。ブラッドを飲むにはこれなんて読むんだろう。人目につかないところに連れてって血を飲むと。ああ、左上の催眠っていうやつか。そして詳細を見る。もう助けてもいいのかな。あ、ここの1っていう数字と自分の今画面の左上の数字が同じかそれ以上じゃないとダメってことね。自分の方が高くないとダメってことね。チュートリアルっぽいなこれ。催眠をかけるってなってる。獲物を影に導きましょう。あ、この赤い道筋に沿っていく。血を吸うか解放するかってことね。まあ一回解放しとくか。
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
Did I black out?
ああ、催眠状態にかかったことを気絶したと思ってる。
Whoa, I feel giddy.
めまいがする。血を失ってるからかな。
What happened?
死ぬことはないのかな、置いといても。
Whoa, I feel...
一旦放っときますか。
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go.
獲物を逃がすのは狩人の知恵だ。もっと経験値というか血が良くなってから吸収すればいいよってことかな。まだいる？まだいるな。お、アイテムじゃない？ハンドル部品。素材この辺に他にないかな。こっちにも箱あるわ。バネ。 なんかあるな。ああ、違う。光ってるんじゃなくて光が反射してるだけか。なんかアイテム光ってるのかと思った。チュートリアルがこっちにあるんで、迂回ルートを進むしかなかったのか。リード先生、急いでください。この辺の寝てるの患者か。こっち側で合ってるかな。なんか裏道とかにアイテムありそうだけど。この木箱は違うのか。行き止まりじゃないな。部屋がある。アイテムあるじゃん。扉は開けられない。上に行ける？いやー、鍵かかってそうね。
I cannot enter.
時計とお金をゲット。じゃあ、なんかポスターあるな。兵士の募集ね。結構ポスターがいろんなとこにあるってことは、展示以下なのかな。疫病広がってるのに戦時化ってやばいね。これゴミ箱を調べられ。ネジゲット。ああ、人がいる。これ会話できるか。できる。
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
輸血について市民はあまりよく思ってないってことかな。
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
目に見えない敵っていうのは疫病のことかな。
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
もう何週間も過酷な勤務が続いててきついと。詳細を見る。2500結構もらえるね。ヒントをアンロックしてからの方がいいんだ。こっちにしろこれ。催眠に5ポイント必要だから無理だね。さっき見かけた人はこの人か。この人は健康状態のままか。
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
看護師も何人かも辞めちゃってて結構厳しいよと。
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
一部あまり良くない看護師もいるって言ってるな。
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
ティペッツ医師っていうのがすごい優秀だけど、年齢の割にはちょっと 仕事に打ち込みすぎてて危ないんじゃないかって話か。話してって、これは良くない看護師についてかな。
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
意見は合わなくても、あまり良くないと思ってる人もベストは尽くしているんだから、それについて何か告げ口みたいなことはしないよっていう。結構この女の人は人格者だな。まだなんか出てないことがある。
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy.
さっき聞いたよな。この状況は違うな。
I'm not
Brilliant.
most.
It would be.
なんだろう。まだ白い状態だけど、左のロンドンの生活についてっていうのが全部聞いてないのかと思うんだけど、選択肢が出てないな。ヒントが必要。ロックされてるわ。
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
I would like to ask a few questions first.
ハンプトンさんの具合、部屋は2階って聞いたけどな。部屋は後でもう一回聞くか。
And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in. How does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
ハンプトンさんは前回プレイのラストでボスのところで怪我をしてた人か。
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
私が彼を知っている以上に彼は私をよく知っている。これはつまりここの病院のリーダーというか責任者が主人公の外科手術についての知識についてよく知ってるんですよね。
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
あったばかりは言わなくていいかな。でも前線から帰ってきたばっかりだっていう話はしてるから大丈夫か。
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
ワンジーさんも外科医なんだ。主人公と同じタイプってことか。最初学者さんかと思ったんだけどそうじゃないんだ。
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
2階に上がって左の突き当たりね。
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
もうちょっと周辺でアイテムないか見ときたいな。なんかあとガラス瓶。もうなんか光ったな今。気のせいか雨か。これ患者さんですね。建物の外側にテント張って患者収容してるんだら相当余裕がない状態だな。下こっち側取れるんやった。この辺も一応調べとこう。 入れるとこはないか。なんか上に行けるな。違う。左に違いってる。ちょっと上先に見とこう。これ隠れ家
It's locked, all right.
鍵がかかっている。ここら辺敵いるな。しかもレベル高いんじゃない？こっち側に違いっているのはなんだ？とりあえずネズミをゲットしとこう。ルート的にはまだこっちは違いそうだけどね。血で倒せるかな。奥にいなければこいつを気づかれちゃった。おお、結構痛いね。よし、これで血吸ってもう一発か。もう一発いるか。やばい、結構食らってる。死ぬ死ぬ死ぬ死ぬ。回復。よし。回復しておいて。いけるんじゃない？あ、カウンター的な攻撃されて、なんか後ろから。この方なんだろう。いや、この血が気になるんだけど。炎のところに行ってる？これ燃やされてんのかな？上にとかじゃないな。あ、ここまでか。ここで運ばれてきて燃やされたっぽいな。家にいましょう。疫病が流行ってるんで外出しないでねって感じですね。いや、敵のレベル高いわ。とりあえず先に素直に。庭にスカールの声。庭ってここ？チュートリアルというかストーリーのやつは2階に行けってなってるけど、なんかミッションが増えたのかな。そうでもない。上に行けるとかでもないな。あ、庭こっち側か。ブレスカール。やった。血で行こう。はぐれスカールっていうの。あ、なんか向こう側に血があるな。向こうにもはぐれスカールっているわ。こいつらいっぱいいんのか。血で一体倒せない。無理か。避けてから。よし。了解服。よく硬いな。 他にもいるか。お、アイテムある。鉛の板。この病もしかして調べられる？財布の中の写真。地元の調査メニューを開きましょう。トラッキングで市民の調査を始められます。財布を持ち主に返す。あ、75メートル先のマーク出てるな。またはぐれスカールいる。多いな。はぐれスカール多いな。上に行けるな。上に行けるけど下のやつ倒しとこう。スタン。おっしゃ。勝った。いやー、敵が思ったより硬いぞ。とりあえず上行くか。スワンジー石が中にいる。登れるけども特にできることはないのかな。扉から入ったりもできないし。ここは開けられる。あれ財布のやつのターゲットが上から消えちゃった？今この辺光ってなかったかな。気のせいかな。あ、なんかまたマーク出てきた。50メートル先。あれ消えるな。移動すると消えるな。なんでだろう。
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
自称ヴァンパイアなのか本当にヴァンパイアなのかだな。
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
Oh, such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
何世紀も生きていると自称している段階ですね。
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover to hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
遺体安置所の近くの庭で敵の視線を感じる。精神的にやられてるだけなのか本当のことなのかがまだわかんないな。
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women men who hunt me, for I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal, but do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
診察ってやる。
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reed. Blood is the only drug I need.
血液だけが必要。
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities. Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
患者はいっぱいいるけども、物資がない的なことかな。
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
この人も意志力的なやつが高いのかな。3必要ですね。
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
疫病の勢いがすごすぎてちょっと勝てないわって話をしてる。
You'd be surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
ミルトンが不機嫌。
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
新しいヒント。ミルトン・ブックス。
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned. Milton is not the chatty type.
ミルトンはおしゃべりではないってことは寡黙なタイプってことね。
How long have you been?
Or long...
You've been...
It's...
How long
看護師は
have you
長
been...
いの会の先の選択肢がもうない。個人的な、いや違うな。ヒントが必要だな。
How it...
not...
ここの状況はもう聞いたし、
How long you've been...
なんか選べなくなった選択肢があるな。
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
会話の進め方によって話せる内容が変わってくるのかな。奥の方に患者さんがいる。
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
戦争の砲弾の衝撃で 顔に怪我を負ったってことか。
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
傷跡の下が痛む。
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Won't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
薬が効かないってことはなんか精神的なことから来る痛みかな。ああ、これ左、まあ顔の右側の方か。向かって左なんで右の顔の右の方ですね。に傷があるな。この下が痛むんだ。関係性。テルマと何か関係性がある。
Soldier, do you need assistance?
I'm fine. Just do something for this pain, will you? That's all I'm asking.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
士官と前線の兵士はまた違うから、あなたは本当の戦争を知らないって主人公に言ってんのか。
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Damn.
I have wasted too much energy.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
この人は前回ラストの方のボス戦の時に、助けた人ですね。おお、すごい。6ある。催眠聞きにくいんだな。港、関係性港。中心人物か。他のグループの中心人物か。
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
別当のギャングがリーダーがいなくなった。でも今のギャングのリーダーはってあるな。
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
ギャングに脅されてるわけではない。
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
絶望はわかるけど、堕落ってどういうことだ？
Who should I avoid in this part of town then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
ああ、人の悪口は言わないから情報としてはしてでも教えられないよってことか。
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
疫病に対して政府とかあとは地域のリーダーの手が回ってないよってことですね。
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
ハブクロフトさんは血を好むっていうのが今この人の口から出たな。英雄かさもなければバカだは言わなくてもいいか。
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
この人は血を飲まれたけどヴァンパイア化してないっていうことはやっぱ下級のヴァンパイアになりきれなかったやつに血を吸われてもヴァンパイア化はしないってことね。
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
港から数ヶ月前に消えて死んだと思ってた女性をここで見つけたよと。
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks, and I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
司祭とかそういうのではなくて単純に信仰を広めてるだけということですね。
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
扉は開けられないかな。一応やってみるか。赤いから多分開かないんだろう。この人は会話した人かな。会話した人だな。結構登場人物多いですね。
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct
外
my
側にも
research.
人がいたわ。スタッフかな。
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
この人、財布の人
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet with all the money and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin colour that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
なるほど。この時期だとまだ白人と黒人の違いっていうのがすごい社会的に、まあ立場が違う的な感じになっちゃうのかな。品物を見せてで装備品とか銃とかを買え
I'd
るの
like
か
to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
素材が買えるのか。ああ、弾買えるわ。ショットガンいけるけど高いな。315。今持ってんのは左上の90か。全然足りない。全然足りんな。売るでいらないもの売っちゃえばいけるのかな。そうでもない。14とか。いやー、あんま金にならんな。
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to...
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything. And it's getting worse every day.
何もかも足りなくて、さらに毎日状態が悪くなっている。あまり良くない評判について、これ、そうか。情報を他の NPC から聞いたからか。
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I'll bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
衛生状態はどうか。
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
患者が突然襲ってきたってことは、疫病というよりもヴァンパイア系の方に影響を受けたやつがいるのかな。
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
人生に絶望してる感じっぽいですね。ミルトンとホーキンスは小人同士。そうなんだ。なるほど。じゃあこれ、ホーキンスを、捕食してしまうと、血を吸ってしまうと、違うな。両方か。ホーキンスを捕食したら、ミルトンが気づくし、っていう。で、ミルトンを捕食したら、ホーキンスが気づくって、そういう関係性かな。
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
二人に共通する感情は絶望ってこと？
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
Goodbye, Milton.
アイテムある。ボビンゲット。不明な人がここにいるな。あれ違う。中か。誰か見忘れた？あ、この部屋の中か。入れないな。
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansey's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
今目の前にいる医者からは主人公はまあ本とかの執筆はしてるんかもしれんけど現場知らんだろう的な感じで思われてるのかな。不明な登場人物2人と関係性がある。
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansey has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
やっぱり執筆とかメディア、本書いたりとかそういうことに時間使ってるから現場はお前本当は知らんだろうって思われてんだな。嫉妬は君のためにならないよがいい気もするけど、でもこういうことをズバッとやると傷つくんですよね。敵対心は必要ないよかな。
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansey, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
単純に主人公が執筆してることを嫌っているというよりも患者を使ってお前次の本のためのネタを研究しようとしてんだろうって思われてんのか。新しい医療技術を好まない。なるほどね。それは相入れない感じになっちゃうか。
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
この方にまだ会話してないキャラいるな。キャラ本当に多いな、これ。 なんか今、違う、扉の中にいる人かな。違うかな。違う、こっち側にまだ会話してない人がいる。そしてアイテムがある。ガラス瓶ゲット。
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
腕を直してほしい。腕について聞くのは情報が必要か。
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
早く腕を直して、お金稼がないとってことね、家族のために。
Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Ackroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable, and your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies.
個人的な質問はヒントがないからダメに。
Is there anything else that's bothering you? Can I help in any way?
I'm all right. Considering the state of this place, I should consider myself lucky, I guess.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
I will not let you down, my boy.
アクロイド医師はさっき会話したか。やばい、これ登場人物本当多いわ。今日アイテムを調べてサクッと次の章とかに行くかなと思ってたんだけど、あれアイテムどこだっけ。これか、血液サンプル。これ調べて次の章かなと思ってたんだけど、そもそも登場人物との会話がすごいボリュームがある。
Good evening, Doctor. I believe we're going to be working together.
Dr. Reed. Dr. Swansea informed us of your arrival, but I could not dare to believe we'd have such good fortune. Such an honor, sir.
Thank you. And you are?
I am Thoreau Strickland, Dr. Thoreau Strickland. I'm a great admirer of your work, Dr. Reed.
ストリックランド医師は主人公の本とか読んでて、辛抱してるというか、新しい治療に熱心な感じなのかな。個人的な質問無理か。
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his obsolete concept of medical science.
アクロイド医師が最新の医療を嫌うのは、彼のプライドが操作してるだけだよというふうにこの目の前の人は考えてるわけね。
Please, could you tell me something about yourself?
I'm a great admirer of your work concerning blood transfusion, Dr. Reed. I run my own experiments. I'm convinced it's the future.
実験について聞かせてほしい。
I based my technique on my mentor's research. He helped me perfect my method. What is yours?
I'd rather not talk about it. For now, it's just theories at first approach. My process is purely experimental and unsuccessful.
As long as you're cautious and methodical, you may remain empty-handed, but you won't fail.
You're not the first one to warn me, but I am convinced knowledge is the main weapon against the ravages of this epidemic.
なんか疫病に対して効果的な手法を発見しようと実験をしてると。ただそれが何かはまだ教えてくれないってことね。輸血実験はまだ成功していない。
What made you choose to be a doctor?
I'm not ashamed to admit you and your work have inspired me. I am honored to have the opportunity to work by your side.
It's always a pleasure to share scientific and medical knowledge with someone eager to learn. I'll be glad to help you if I can.
This epidemic may be the century's most terrible disaster, but I'm convinced that we, as doctors, are the only ones able to defeat it.
What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Do you want me to play the errand boy for you?
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
新しい調査。これクエストってことかな。紛失した素材。
You seem quite optimistic. It's a rare and precious attitude in these difficult times.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
予想以上に疫病による勤務の過酷化が進んじゃって、ちょっと笑い話にならなくなってきたよっていう。輸血技術について質問できるな。
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
フィリックさんの経緯がここで聞ける。怪我の経緯かな。
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
新しいヒントを入手。怪我について自分を責めている。
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality. You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior, a man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
外にはいないかな。なんか不明な
Thelma
不
Howcroft
明な
said she
人
was
物がいる。
being
この人
watched
が。
by vampire hunters. Where are they
あ、違
hiding?
う
I should
あ、
investigate.
会話できる。
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
以前は本当に医者だったけど、今は質屋をしている。
A pawnbroker? I expect you get all types of people here.
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
Who comes here to trade with you? It's very unhygienic, even unsafe. Diseases can spread. For the customers, for the hospital.
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
What kind of goods?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade, I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
ああ、中間屋的な感じか。
Are you afraid or uneasy being surrounded by so many corpses?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view. And quite an exotic one, too. Most people fear, or at least have a respect, for dead flesh.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
新しいヒント。衛生兵になってから死を恐れていない。
How did you get this job?
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business there. Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
ああ、妹が主人公を探してここに来たのか。ちなみに妹は主人公の最初の吸血の犠牲者になっちゃったのでもう死んでるんですよね。
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
遺体を監視する。なぜか。
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happens.
ああ、誰の死体かわかんないって状態なんだね。
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality as a concept?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
So you're ready to die?
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Do you really believe goodwill cannot last?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but the good news is we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
もし永遠の命を持ってたら、他人に親切にしたりとかそういうことにすら飽きてしまうっていうことを言ってんのかな。
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. But I'm sure they can be useful.
処方箋。処方箋欲しいな。70買えるな。こっちは売る方か。処方箋買っとくか。なんかアイテムある。
It's locked.
おお、鍵がかかってる。
It's locked.
じゃあ中戻って。中の方にまだ調べてない人いたよな。調べてないというか会話してないというか。この辺にいますね。
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
息子を見てほしい。
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
若い女性たちの教師をしているってことは、女学院とかそういう感じのところの教師なのかな。
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
病院が非効率だと思われてるのね。
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
お金を稼ぐ方向に舵を取ってるのかな、この看護婦は。
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
で、横にいるのが息子かな。
Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No.
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
喉が痛い。ああ、喉のとこなんか紫になってるな。赤紫って言ったらいいのかな。薬が必要ですよと。おー、薬持ってないぞ。
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'll let you get some rest then.
I'm alright.
This hospital seems
Don't
to
waste
have
your
fallen
time with me.
apart. But
Good
in
evening, Mr. Goswick.
circumstances, I'm willing to...
How are you?
I'm okay.
Why did your mother have you hospitalized here? She seems convinced this is a bad hospital.
My mother just wants the best for me. She won't rest while I'm here. She'd go all the way to hell and back to help me.
Is your mother bothering you? As your doctor, I can ask her to leave you alone if you would prefer.
That's tempting, Doctor. But you have no idea what my mother is capable of. She would tie herself to my bed if you asked her to leave.
もう母親とうまくいってないのかな。
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
喉の痛みについて理由を話したくない。
Why did your mother have you hospital?
My mother...
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
情報くれないな。
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
薬を作ってこないとかな。
Don't waste your time with me. さっきなんかクエスト的なやつ受けた気がするんだけど。両手武器持ってんだけど、使い方が分かってないのよね。装備はしてるんだけど、持ち替え方法が分かってなくて。録音しちゃっておかしな気になった。2階に行ってオフィスを見つける。こっちね。この辺には NPC というか、患者とか医師はいないか。上行くか。3階がある。あれこれ、2階ここだよな。違うのかな。ああ、ここ2階だな。おアイテムゲット。カルテ。ああ、顔に傷がある人か。
あ、これが主人公の部屋かな。ドクター・レイド。
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
なんか取れるものがあった。スワンジー博士のメッセージ。ここの責任者ですね、スワンジー博士。2階のオフィスを確保するようにお願いしておいた。スタッフは決して君の部屋に勝手に入らないように。主人公がヴァンパイアであることをスタッフには隠してるんですよね。エコンに関して私が発見したことに関するいくつかのノートの寿司を置いていくよ。置いていくよ。なんかアイテムがある？で、これ調べてストーリーが進む感じか。これなんだ。
The flower's dying. It needs water.
水が必要だな。あ、これエコンの記事か。吸血鬼に近づくことは特権とさえ言える。ヴァンパイア、あるいは彼ら自身がそう呼ばれることを好むエコン。ああ、エコンっていうのはヴァンパイアのこと？ヴァンパイアは速度速いけど、この速度は彼らを消耗させており、肉体的な限界を持っているらしいことにも気づいている。スピードはすごく高いけども、あまりそれを乱用できないってことね。催眠術。精神状態を作り変えるような力ではない。偽りの記憶を埋め込む。なるほどね。催眠術で記憶を変えてしまったりするのか。死の近く、ヴァンパイアは血液を渇望する。飢えた吸血鬼はとても弱くなる。ただし空腹や喉の渇きのために死ぬことはないと。とりあえず血液サンプル調べよう。治療薬を作ったりできるのかな。ガラス瓶、キニーネ。ああ、作れないな。増強剤とか、ああ、ここら辺の薬を作ると患者を治療できるのか。なるほどね。新しいレシピを暗記するためには、まず見つけた構成要素をアナライズする必要があります。お、なんか増えた。所持している一つの武器をインプローブする。アップグレードってこと？ 今使ってんのマチエーテかな。アタックスピードが速い方がいいのかな。スタミナは多分スタミナ消費だから少ない方がいいのか。これ、スピードは高い方が良くて、スタミナ消費は低い方がいいってことかな。ちょっと。両手武器がスピード遅いから、で、スタミナ消費多いから、そうですね。スピードが速くて、スタミナ消費が低いのがいい。じゃあ、この辺結構優秀か。おー、武器ヒットで血を吸収できる。これ強いな。作りたいけど、粉末がいるのか。で、さっきのレシピでゲットしたのは風邪薬、気管支炎の薬。素材が全然ないんで、どっかで集めないとか。分解とかで集まんのかな。いやー、そうでもないな。ガラス瓶とかは手に入るけど。血清。軽度自動回復血清。あ、これ戦闘時とかに使ってってことか。150まで回復できる。あ、違う。300回復した後、150ヘルスのリジェネもかかるのか。強いな。
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now.
装備品ちょっと変えてみて。あ、触れないのか。振り出して振ったりできないのか。どうしよう、強化しとくか。でも普通に強化するよりもここら辺つけた方がいいんだろうな。じゃあもうちょっと素材集まってからにするか。で 995XP あるけど、強化できるか。身体能力とかは強化できるか。自分の足元に影の雲を設置。それか爪、クロー。1000ポイントいるからまだ取れないか。バリア5秒間。ポストなし。 バリアが消えるときに爆発するとかある。600か。これ取っとくか。スタミナもいけるな。
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature
チャ
from
プ
the
タ
mortal.
ー2に入ったんだ。
But what about my thirst for
ミッションアップデート。病院を手伝う。
blood?
クエスト的なやつ、面以外ないのかな。隠れ家。お金マークがあるな。あ、ショップか、これ。アイテム復活してる。あ、アイテム復活してる。粉末が手に入った。薬が作れてないのよね。素材が全然足りんか。
Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but
消毒液がない。
What type of hospital are you running? No antiseptics?
you have been away too long, Doctor. With the war and now this epidemic, supplies have been running scarce for months now.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key. It opens a small back entrance at the end of a narrow street.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
遺体安置所の方に行って物資を取ってくるね。この部屋とかのアイテムも復活してんのかな。引き出し内のアイテムとかはしばらくすると復活する感じかな。上の階ちょっと見てみよう。あ、これ入れない感じか。反対側もかな。まあ多分入れないんだろうな。ああ、入れないな。なるほど。ストーリーが進むとまた変わってくるのかな。案外いけるのかな。 その前にベッドの件で会話した方がいいか。どこにいるこの人だっけ、ホーキンス。
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
あれベッドを開けるのにお金取ったのこの人じゃなかったっけ。
Pepper, I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes? Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins. But are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
あれ、医療従事者同士で恋愛関係にしちゃダメとかなんかそんなルールがあるのかな。
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Disgust on every street corner. Daily routine.
Yes, Doctor?
Exactly how bad is the supply situation here at Pembroke?
It really depends. Dr. Swansea definitely works his society
翻訳
contacts for
翻訳がな
monies.
かった。
But with the quarantine, well, we're in God's hands.
Please, could you point me in the direction of the morgue again?
It's the large boarded-up building behind the hospital. You can't miss it. The key I gave you will open the small back door to it.
Why then do you always work the nights? Don't you ever sleep?
At the Pembroke, we're always hands on deck.
いつ眠っているのか。不眠は危険だ。不眠は本当に危険らしいですね。
Your dedication to the Pembroke does you credit, Nurse Crane, but when do you sleep?
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor. Nursing is a vocation, not the labor of a journeyman.
Lack of sleep and the medical profession always ends in disaster. I've witnessed many a colleague succumb to stimulants to fight exhaustion. Drugs were as deadly as bullets in the trenches.
London's trenches start here at Pembroke Hospital. We are on the front line, make no mistake.
That's all for now, Nurse Crane. Thank you.
…裏の方からだからこっち側から行けばいいのかな。
I cannot enter.
この建物じゃないのか。ああ、これ回ってってことか。ぐるっと回って裏側に行くのか。あ、ここ扉開く。さっきのところか。戻っちゃうか。ああ、はいはい。ここ、前行ったな。じゃあ反対側から行こう。この先ね、ちょっとこの辺見とこう。キープアウト、入るなと。ここは何もないのか。じゃあ中入ろう。この扉開けてっぽいですね。すごい。わかりやすいな。Y って書いてあるから。ちなみにこっち側は何かいたりする？大丈夫そうかな。 ああ、多分敵いるんでしょうね。なんか、ターゲットマーク的なのが3個ある。あ、でもそうか、近くに敵いたら勝手に武器出すんで、そんなにビビりながら行かなくてもいいのか。あれ、これ出ちゃった。あ、正面の扉が開いたのか。裏まで回らなくてもいいですよと。死体安置所だしな。死体が蘇ってるのか。アイテム探しながら行きたいけど、この部屋は見たか。下に行く鍵がないのかな。
It's locked.
なんか死体安置所って地下の方にあるイメージあるんだけど、鍵をどっかで探してこないと。なんかいるじゃん。次にちょっと右の部屋見よう。あ、ここに1個アイテムある。
Balls of Mars, fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
グレスカール6。点灯させてから一回血取っといて。あ、遠かった。一回逃げよう。あ、逃げれなかった。血で、よっしゃ。いやー、もうダメになっちゃった。血液サンプル。お、薬作るのに必要な素材ゲットしてる。アイテムいっぱいありそう。アルコール。あ、これもクエストアイテムか。下に行くための鍵、ここでゲットです。あ、ここから来た。やばいやばい、結構食らってる。やばい、めっちゃ食らってる。やばいな。回復ちょっとしかないか。やばい。血を吸収しないとやばい。シガレットケース。ここにもアイテムあるわ。
It's locked, all right.
ここら辺はもう扉開かないか。さっきのやつどっから来たんだろう。上の方にいたのかな。多分下に行くのが正解なんだけど。ああ、でもなんもないか。あ、死体があるわ。サンプルゲット。あ、光の反射ね。光ってるように見えたけど違うな。いやー、上の階に敵がいたってことは、スカールか。いたってことは、下の方にもいるっていうか、普通に下にいたわ。どこ行った？どこ行った？さっき敵いただろ。あれ？どこ行った？あれ？消えた？一瞬敵がいた気がしたけど。 あ、めっちゃいるやん。
These skulls feed from corpses and the husks of animals.
で血を吸っとかんとスキルが使え。避けてから出した。もうちょいスタミナがない。スタミナがない。よし、吸った。これ倒しとこう。よっしゃ。2体くらい、右の方にいるのか。右にちょっとこっち側アイテムとかないか見といて。これ壊せる壊せる。アイテムないか。弾薬。そうか。一応銃持ってたな。装備品の持ち替えがね、分かってないんですよね。これ外してからじゃないとダメ？あれ？銃持てない。ん？どうやって外すんだろう、装備品。装備って押してもできないな。上とか下を押しても武器変わらないし。まず後ろから行ってスタンだな。で、血もらっといて。一回離れて。もう一体来ちゃったか。返した。外してろ。一回来いとろ。やばいやばい。スタミナないもんな。スタミナないからやばい。回復。あ、バリア発動したらいいのか。しばらく敵はいないかな。いるな。アイテムはなさそうね。ブラッド吸収の近接武器じゃん。これいいんじゃないの？死亡報告書。死亡型自然死。スペイン風邪で進行性肺炎。
Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report.
あ、レポートと一致しない。傷口がレポートと一致しない。あ、でも調べらんないよ。
It's locked, all right.
鍵がいるのね。後でまた来るのかな。開けると中に敵がいるね。こっちの扉は？ しまった、正面出ちゃった。ブラッド吸収量少ない。危ない。これだと流血に持っていけないのか。バリア張ってる。いい武器かと思ったけどそうでもないな。流血持っていけないんだ。お、気に入りねゲット。扉開けとこう。吸血いけないんだったらちょっときついな。消費が少ないのかな。おお、なんだ。横にもいた。いや、幻影を出してきてる。どう出してきてんの。食らってる、むっちゃ食らってる。で、おっしゃ、結構入った。後ろに巻き込んだ。バリア張って、よっしゃ。しまった、技でなってない。はい、回復挟んだ方がいい。よし。横に行ってる。回復。後ろから鍵来る。どこ行った。こいつか。シャドウは攻撃後に消えるか。スタミナがね、やべえ。回復。これだと削れないな。おっしゃ、入った。後ろからバリア張れる。要吸収。よし、当たったか今。
These scowls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger.
いやー、強かったな。幻影使ってくるな。
To drink blood is so tempting.
Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage.
お、サンプル、血液サンプルゲット。薬を作る十分な素材が揃ってます。次にサンプルを解析かな。あ、これ確か治療に必要だったよな。喉やられてる人の治療に必要だったやつか。これ作っとくか。あとはまだ作れない。ここら辺で使う素材と右の血清で、使う素材ダブってんな。素材ダブってるから作れなくなったか。分解ガンガンしてった方がいいのかな。 和系積算第一鉄。そんなん使うのあったっけ？ああ、使うな。ああ、これアルコール分解しといた方がいいか。まあでも後でもできるし、今は置いとこう。で、これでアイテムは必要なやつは取ったのね。よし、じゃあ戻るか。この敵自体はサンプルとか落とさないのか。違う。装備品。杭の方がいいか。スタンポイントが、そうか、たまるたまらないがあるからか。10スタン。そうか、スタンかブラッド吸収かで違いがあるのか。ああ、でも強化幅はこっちの方がでかいな。ブラッドの上昇量増やせんのね。敵とか復活してる？復活してるな。後ろから行きたいね。あ、ここ側、あ、なんか、調べてないのあった。お金ゲット。後ろから回るルートなかった。バリア張っといて。で、ここで回復しよう。ブレスカールまたいるな。2体いる。こいつスタンさして横にいるか。2体同時にいけたい。あ、吸われてる。逆に吸われてる。やばい。バリア張っとこう。あれ、バリア間に合わなかった。いや、リキャストはってなかったのか。一回離れて。ブラッと回っとこう。一回離れよう。乗った。血をよこせ。あれ、出口こっちだっけ？スタンの方が今はまた使い勝手いいかな。で、ドロシーに薬を持ってきてよ。パンチ能力なんか変わってんの？違う？なんだろう。 喉痛めてる人の治療のやつを先にやりたいな。ちょっと一回スルーして。
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
市民をヒーリング、回復、治療することはブラッドクオリティを高め、あなたの報奨としての経験値が増えるってことかな。地域の健康状態も増進するでしょう。
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
で、薬を渡す。
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
回復中。これ回復中マークがついてるのか。クレイコックスも増強剤いんのか。治療が必要な人はこうマークがついてるってことかな。あれ増強剤むっちゃいるじゃん。あと2個いるのか。素材が足りんな。
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize.
Not really.
I see.
意思疎通についてはまだダメなのね。
Why did you...
My mother...
Pembroke Hospital may look unorthodox, but rest assured you're in good hands here.
It's not me you have to convince, Dr. Reed. It's my mother.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me
説得すべきは母親。こっちの方ってこと？
Doctor.
Good evening, Doctor. How is my son doing?
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
別に今ので会話が進行したりはしないのか。
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Tell me, Waverley, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives for pride and glory. Now that, sir, is unethical.
Are you thinking about something in particular?
Harvey Fiddick needs delicate surgery. I believe we should stick to the usual procedure, but my young colleague obviously disagrees.
多分腕怪我してる人の手術だろうな。
Why do you wish to lead this surgery?
I strongly believe that Mr. Fiddick should not be butchered to test an unproven procedure.
これ選択肢で見解分かれそうだな。
Other people may say that's too conservative a point of view.
Conservative? And what are you going to say to Mr. Fiddick if he loses his arm because of the operation? Because that's what's going to happen if the surgery is a failure.
新しい手術を採用することによって失敗したらどうするんだと。
I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Knowledge has always been and will remain our main weapon, and it has always come at a price. And personal initiative.
It is not a question of initiative, it is a question of integrity. These men and women have put their faith in us, Dr. Reed.
まだ会話、研究に対する考え聞けるな。献身的な医療に対して、どう思ってるのかって話ですね。
Tell me, Waverly, what do you think of Dr. Strickland's enthusiasm for his experimental research?
Strickland is playing with his patients' lives.
Are you thinking...
Harvey...
And are you not afraid that your rivalry with Strickland may be blinding you?
Rivalry? I guess you could call it that. But I will never be childish enough to let my personal feelings affect my judgment.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
じゃあ、とりあえずメインクエストのアイテム渡してみるか。
Yes, Doctor?
あれアイテム渡すんじゃない？
Exactly how bad...
It really...
え
Please...
It's the... At the...
あれアイテム渡せるんじゃない？
That's all for now, Nurse Crane. Thank you.
あれ病気、
Don't waste your time with me.
江戸川スワンジーと話す。どっちだっけこっちだっけ
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
違う。この人ゴスウィック。全然名前違う。
I have to go now,
ど
sir.
こだどこだ
But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Don't waste your time with me.
どこだ血の誘惑、賢い選択をしましょう。経験値そろそろゲットしとけよって言われてる。6メートル、この辺違う。あ、なんか不明なキャラクターがいる。ああ、そうか、部屋の中か。あれ、距離離れちゃったな。どこだ上か上の階か。あれ、どこだあ、スワンジー氏。あ、最初に、この病院に入れって言った理事長か。どこにいんだ今。どこにいんだろう。薬作れるか見とこう。やっぱもう作れないか。これレベル上げてからどっちか選ぶってことかな。今がサンブラッドが8になる。で、どっちか選ぶのか。なるほど。 スタミナ消費減らした方がいいかな。スタミナ結構早く切れるんで。吸収量を 2.5 上げると 10.5 になる。10% 減少だと、ブラッド吸収を増やした方が美味しいか。こういうことね。外に出れる。違う。目的はスワンジーと話す。下の方かな。いや、上にいるぞ。あれ？3階か？入れない。あ、不明な医師がいた。
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more unto the breach.
もう結構年なのに頑張りすぎてて心配されてる人だ。
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You don't have to blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
スタッフは優秀だけど、まあ状況に絶望しちゃってるだけですよと。
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
スワンジー氏は基本的にマネージメント側に行ってるから、あまり現場には出てないのかな。
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
やっぱ上にいるよな。あそこどうやって行くんだ。わかんねえ。だから下の方にいた怪我してた人ってどうなったんだろう。さすがに移動してるのか。お、アイテム。ここら辺のアイテムも復活してんのかな。疲れてますね。
Good evening, Mr. Cox.
Dr. Reed. Still working at night, I see. I like that.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive to me. More interesting, one way or another.
Do you ever think about that poor fellow I saw you push in the water?
The wound he gave me will make sure I don't forget him. Still fucking hurts. Boss had cut me good.
What did he want? Revenge?
I recently had to kill his brother. Poor arsehole thought it would be easy to return the favor.
おー。なんか敵対組織の人間を殺しちゃってるんだ。
Only the strongest survive, then. Survival at all costs. Is that all you think about?
I'm the toughest bastard you'll ever meet, Dr. Reed. And I don't give a fuck what you think of me.
That man was determined to murder you. You almost died.
What a surprise. The first time I met him, he nearly shit himself. Fucking coward. I guess revenge gives you balls.
How is your hospitalization going, Mr. Cox?
This is a shitty place with shitty staff. As long as I'm treated all right, I'll be fine.
病院は気に入ってないみたいですね。
What's wrong with the Pembroke staff?
That bastard you sent to bring me here, Milton. I thought he was going to break all my bones before I reached my bed.
I see. Any other smart comments?
The nurses aren't too ugly. Especially that foxy one, Nurse Crane. Pretty brunette, tough attitude, oh, I like that.
What's wrong with the hospital?
Come on, Dr. Reed. The place is a dump. Smelly, sad, and dirty.
But you're alive thanks to the efforts and dedication of the staff here, aren't you?
What are you expecting, a medal? I thought that saving lives was just part of the job. Must be an unsatisfactory profession at this time, I'm sure.
How
long do you think you can escape the law, Clay?
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc. I know its streets, who to pay, who to avoid, and who to bully. I won't get caught.
We can't escape the consequences of our actions. The past catches up with us in the end.
I ain't afraid of death. I don't hide who I am. I live my life honestly, which is more than I can say for most folks.
And who are you, then?
I'm the leader of the Wet Boot Boys. One day, I'll leave this shitty place and punch in the face all who thought I would not come back.
ああ、ギャングのリーダーってこと？ああ、元リーダー的な感じかな。
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Hmm? 死にそうになってる。あれ、この人でも会話できない。会話できない。そしてワンジー氏がどこにいるかわかんない。上の階だと思うんだけどな。この人は違う人だよね。あ、Y マークの上に上矢印ついてるからやっぱ上にいるんだな。やっぱこの辺にいることになってんだけど。どっか開く扉があるのか？あ、ここ開くじゃん。
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea, but my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
食われると言って今の状態を肯定するか、ヴァンパイアの血がまあ贈り物なわけないだろうっていうか、まあ、死んでるはずなのに生きているっていう自分が矛盾してるかってことかな。でもこの右の方にいるスワンジー氏は普通にその嫌味とかじゃなくて本当に羨ましがってそうなんですよね。なんで言葉に救われるよかな。
It may seem strange, but your words have brought me some comfort here.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
否定していくこともできるのね。
I'm not some doe-eyed student, Edgar. I understand we both have something to gain from this relationship.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
メイン出資者のトラブルを解決するためにちょっと会いに行ってこいと。この部屋にはさすがに取れるものはないですかね。あ、なんかあるわ。ヴァンパイアの希少種。これは、まあ、理事長が研究している情報の一部ってことかな。休むことを知らないヴァンパイアハンター、ニムロッド。なんかこの後出てくるキャラクターかな。警告の手紙。アクロイドは昔ながらのやり方に、まあ、従ってる意思から警告が来てると。新しい方法は危険だよっていう警告文を送ったってことね。ソロ医師の新しい技術やばいんじゃないかって話か。なんかどんな方法かっていう話をまた聞けてないから、どんな手法を使おうとしてるか謎なんですよね。あ、こっちにもアイテムあるわ。軍管理部の私の経験と能力についてお問い合わせください。ラケシュ・チャダナ元医師。外にいた死体の管理してる人か。びっくりした。いきなりスワンジ氏が横にピタってきた。他にはなんか情報ないかな。なさそうかな。で、下の方で出社と会話ね。この人違うか。違うわ。
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
How are things here?
Not.
Do you...
We are.
会話は増えてないか。
It would be.
It
お、増えてる。
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
マークついてるな。この辺って最初の方でアイテムなかったっけ？ああ、ここの人、さっきここいなかったもんね。
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a the lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
最初のボス戦の後のイベントで助けてくれた人で、一番最初酒場に行った時にスワンジー博士と何か会話した人ですね。まあ、お会いできて光栄ですか。
Apologies. You've taken me by surprise. I'm very happy to see you.
The pleasure is mine, Doctor.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
ヴァンパイアであることを世の中から隠すための手段が失われつつあるってことか。
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
なんか選べる感じになってるのかな。違うか。Yマークがあるから下に行けそうだけど、1個だけか。
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt one?
Excuse my impertinence, Your Ladyship. This is not an interrogation. I assure you that this line of questioning is in your best interest.
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits serve a dual purpose. Dr. Swansea has been treating my condition with a revolutionary technique of blood transfusion. It seems you are a specialist in the domain.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition. Is our little mystery closer to being solved, Dr. Reed?
I think of nothing else, my lady.
My situation is delicate, and it occupies all my thoughts. The blackmail must stop. I need assurance.
事件というか依頼解決するまでは会話もできない状態と。で、要は、さっきの女性がヴァンパイアなんですけど、この女の人が訪問した時に、まあ、怪しい失血死かなんかが起きてるんでしょうね。で、ただ女の人は私のせいじゃないよっていう話をしていて、ただ、脅迫してる方からすると、状況証拠があるから、こいつがヴァンパイアだという情報をばらすぞという感じで、まあ、お金をせびったりしてんのかな。病院でハリエットと話す。ハリエットは誰だ？登場人物が多すぎて、顔と名前が一致しないんですよね。ゴシップ情報好きって言ってたから女性キャラかな。外か。いや、建物の中っぽいな。そこの部屋？扉開くのかな？扉開くっていうか開いてる。ちょっと会話の前にアイテム取っとこう。他にはないかな。
What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Dr. Swansea is quite busy, and I need you to help me get acclimated. I have many questions.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
医療ミスの話ではありません。どういうこと？ちょっと会話が分かんなかった。
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round.
看護師の一人が男性と勤務中に会っている。
How do we feel?
Again? Waking a poor old woman in her sleep? There isn't a poor life needs saving somewhere?
Now, I need to ask you a few simple questions.
Well, if you really must.
If you could just tell me why you were admitted.
It's terrible, Doctor. What with a pain in my chest, coughing up blood, and I get awfully tired. Wouldn't be so bad if I hadn't lost my house and all.
I see.
No one comes to visit, you know. Not even my own flesh and blood.
Have you noticed any suspicious comings or goings?
It would be a great deal easier to make a list of things unsuspicious in this house of charlatans.
Everyone here is very capable. I have not seen any instances of unprofessionalism.
Thieves and murderers, the lot. People have gone missing here, you know. Poof, without a trace.
人が手がかりなく消えているってこと？
Come now, Miss Jones. Surely it's not that bad.
Oh, have you no eyes? This hospital accepts all manner of souls, regardless of origin. The proper sick cannot heal. We're kept sickened by the refugees.
I'll come and visit you shortly. Good night, Miss Jones.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
ホーキンス、クレイン、プラナガンを見つける。ホーキンスいた。ホーキンス外かな。あれ違う。遠くになってる。あ、ここ今入るチャンス。あ、しまった。入れなかった。入れなかった。今入るチャンスだったよな。
I understand you must be very angry about this unfair situation.
結構みんな遠くにいるな。これ外に出てんのか？ああ、外に出てるやついるな。外に行ってんの？あ、プラナガンいたんじゃない？
Less resignation and more determination.
I know I can count on you. I wish I could say the same for the others.
You look exhausted. You're pushing yourself too hard. You don't have to bear the burdens of this hospital alone.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Do you know if any of the hospital staff have criminal backgrounds?
The people who work here all come from very different backgrounds, Doctor. Just like the patients.
まあ犯罪歴のあるスタッフがいることは否定しなかった。
Have you seen a strange man visiting any of the nurses here?
I've never heard of such a thing, Doctor.
Goodbye, nurse.
特に情報は得られなかった。
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening, Doctor.
また会話になっちゃった。
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
下の方になってるやつがいる。インフルエンザのため新規患者の受け入れはできません。満室ですと。外側にいるのかな。 32メートル。あれ、離れちゃってるか。お、アイテム。中に一人いそう。あれ消えた？あ、いたいた。
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
なんか、ホーキンスは男性について知ってそうだな。いやー、まあでも強く出てもな。
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses?
Let me...
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
ブレインを見つける。下の方になってるな。これ、病院の外で男性と会ってるのか？なんか不明って言った。
Please, sir. I need help bad.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir. Newton Blight. I've lost my mate. Can't find him anywhere.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. Please, calm down and give me more details.
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir. We were en route for the hospital, but... well, we had a disagreement. And Oswald ran off towards the canal.
How long have you been searching for him?
I can't go there. Too many rats by the water. Fucking rats. Can't stand them since the war, sir. Can't stand them at all.
Don't be ashamed, Mr. Blight. Many soldiers who survived the trenches suffer from musophobia. I'll see what I can do for your friend.
ネズミ恐怖症ってあるの
？Where was your friend the last time you saw him?
He went down by the canal. He didn't want to go to the hospital. I think he went to the sewers on purpose. So I couldn't go after him.
What can you tell me about your friend?
His name is Oswald Thatcher. We survived the war together. Oswald is... nervous and quite fragile since we came back from the war.
This is a dangerous part of town. What are you doing here?
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital. We both need help. Treatment, I mean. To get some sleep. Just need to feel better, sir.
病院は嫌いだけど病院に行こうと思ってこっちに来たってことかな。
What can you tell me about yourself?
I'm Oswald's best friend. We served in the same regiment, sir. We've taken care of each other since we came back from the front.
I have all the information I need for now. If I find anything out about your friend, I'll let you know as soon as I can.
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
市民が疑わしい行動をしたら彼の心臓は特徴的に光り出すでしょう。 ドロシーを見つけるはどこになった？
It's locked.
上の方かな。エリア内、エリア内。ん？あ、ドロシーいるじゃん。何これ？
You're sure you don't come back with me?
調べるためのマーク
see
か。
someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck them. I don't like hospitals. Or
ゴロ
doctors.
ツキ。
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
いない。消えた。SE、ネズミがいるのか。
He's locked the door behind him. I need to find another way to follow him.
オズワルド、息ができない。オズワルドってさっき助けてくれって頼まれた人か。アイテムゲット。
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
とりあえずショートカット開けとこう。アイテムありそう。これ違う？あ、違う？あ、アイテムだった。よしよし。この辺のとか壊してなんか出ないのかな。先に上やった方がいいか。落ちた。あ、落ちた。これ。ここにもう一体いるな。こいつも後ろから行ってスタンさして、あ、もう一体来ちゃった。血をやっときたいけど。おお、噛みつけた。足悪いか。もし並んでるチャンス。回復入れとこう。アイテムは落としてない。落としてないか。で、血がこういってるってことはこの先にいるのね。上登れる。お、箱あった。こっち側は上に戻ってきただけ？救うべき市民がいますよって言われた。違うな。救うべき市民上にいるのか。どっか。 とりあえずこれ開けとくか。あ、出ちゃうの出ちゃうのか。出ちゃうとまずいか。入り直せは大丈夫かな。ロードめっちゃ長いってか止まってるこれ。あれ止まった？あ、進んでる。大丈夫。なんでロードこんな重かったんやろ。単純にマップが広いのかな。ロードがちょっと長い。思ったよりも長いな。さっきまででもこんなにロード長いシーンなかったけどな。意外と地下マップが広いのか。パニック時代の男性を助ける。あそこにスカールがいるの。スカールはやっといて。あ、骨つけとくか。血をよこせ。で、離れて。よっしゃ。スタミナが足りないな。これで救出で OK ね。
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do.
頭痛でブラッドがちょっと低下してるのか。喪失ってなんだ。あ、でもなんかキャラクターは揃ってきたね。港の方行ってないから港側が全然進んでないのかな。
Are you sure you're all right?
会話じゃなくて。
Yes, I'll be.
扉を開けたかった。ここら辺はアイテムはなしか。グレスカールがいる。あ、気づかれた。アイテムね。もう一個のルートは違うのかな。千葉こっちにまっすぐ行ってんだよね。 ああ、結局同じところに出るのかな。さっきのところは鉄格子があるから入れないんで、こっちから行くって感じかな。アイテムあった。広場のサイズ的にボスとかいそうだな。上から来た、上から来た。ロッコンロッコンロッコン。よっしゃ。こいつは弱点とかは特に分かんないか。胃に強い。まあ入んない。76しか入んない。物理と血に強い。これやばくねえか。ああ、強いですよ。めっちゃ強い。よいしょ、や回復しといて。逃げる。逃げる。うお、突進してきた。これ武器他の持ってこないとダメか。インセットあんま入んない。逃げる。いや、これきついぞ。波動系のスキル覚えてこないとダメだった。血の吸収をしたいんで近づけに回復回復。スタミナがない。やばい。めっちゃ持ってかれる。回復したいな。回復した瞬間に食らってる。やばいやばいやばい。回復ができない。先に攻撃しとこう。回復。逃げて。回復。避けられた今。みながない。よっしゃ、地域吸収。もう一度吸収したい。逃げよう。回復。76しか血が入んないから切った方が強いか。いや、これ影スキルいるわ。逃げる。あ、遅かった。みんなない。しまったしまった。連続で勝った。マリアカットいって。みんながない。回復。回復した瞬間に食らっちゃってるから回復できてないんだ。 下水の獣。強い。おい。回復。逃げなきゃ危ねえ。だった。ちょっとこれは過ぎたか。76か。普段200ちょっといった気がするんだけど。バリア張っといて血をよこせ。あ、バリア剥がされた。もうちょいじゃない？逃げよう。もうちょい、もうちょい、もう一発。これ。あ、まだか。
Here's what's left of him.
危ねえ。
Not a lot to check, but I should anyway.
クーポン。ああ、さっきの男の人も、ここで負けたのか。負けたとかやられたのか。
Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
他にアイテムはなさそうかな。いや、強かった。影スキル取っとかないとだ。違う違う。移動じゃなくて血が欲しかった。ホワイトチャペルに到達する。あ、ここロード長いとこか。ホワイトチャペルの紹介状を持ってるってことは、なんかスパイ的なことなのかな。おお、結構遠いね。まあ一旦病院戻るか。ちょっと近くアイテムないかだけ見て。ハグレスカールがいる。え、こんなところに。11、レベル高。勝った。血で5。あ、もう一発か。いけるか。よっしゃ。あれ、ここら辺敵強くてやばい。これ戻っちゃうか。下入っちゃうか。こっちは5だな。で、血で200入る。よしよし。 やっぱちゃんと耐性ないやつだったらこれぐらい入るんだよね。耐性持ちだとダメージ3分の1ぐらいになるのか。やばいやばいやばい。なんかギャングっぽいやつで見つかった。どうしようかな。一回ちょっと自分の部屋行って薬作れないかな。アイテムゲット。おお、結構作れんじゃない。あ、今のでかなり素材手に入ったのか。頭痛薬もいるのか。頭痛薬1個と強壮剤1個。あとは酒場の人だよね、これ。こっちも強壮剤。強靭剤？強壮剤？どっちだろう。中心人物になってるから、ドロシー・クレインって別の組織側の人間ってことかな。とりあえず薬を何個か作っといて、渡しに行きますか。頭痛薬ってあれ、頭痛薬持ってないか。頭痛薬持ってないんだ。じゃあ下の方で薬1個渡して、あれ、ここじゃないわ。ここアイテムないかい？この人か。なんか労働はやっぱ遅くなってるな。あれ、ロード失敗してるこれ。会話に入んない。会話入んないね。なんかあれかな。メモリーがやばいのかな。会話できない。あ、できたできた。
I feel better already. Can I go soon?
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
あれ、治療。あれ、健康になってる。ハンプトンは健康だっけ？
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again
あ
later.
れ、薬が必要なの誰だ？
Oh, please.
フォックスか。あ、外のやつか。
Spare your obedient slave.
Hey, Doc.
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox. I hope you're starting to take better care of yourself.
This place is full of sickness and decay. How could I get better in such a dump?
で、薬を渡してと。
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. but don't push your luck.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good reasons to act this way. And also weaknesses that can be exploited.
あと2個何かアンロック要素があるんですね。
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
Can you remind me why we still work here?
Dr. Reed will help straighten things out in Pembroke, remember? I, for one, am still waiting to see it.
Well, that's reassuring. Believe me, it gives me
休憩
courage.
中ですね、これ2人。よし、じゃあ今日はここまでにして、次回ホワイトチャペルのここですね。ここに行くのか。酒場にも寄りたいんだけど、酒場って港の方か。こっち側かな。あ、反対方向か。隠れ家にジャンプしたりできないのかな。あ、ダメか。ファストトラベル的なのはないのね。なさそうか。じゃあ次回こっちですね。なんかレベル高い敵も出てきたし、どっかでレベルを上げないとだな。影のスキル先に覚えてから行った方がいいのかな。まあちょっと考えとこう。では終わります。ご視聴ありがとうございます。